Hello, all. Oh, yep. This is just. I hate this. I hate my
You
life.
lucky
This is
son of a
Hockey on
bee.
Tap podcast. I'm your host, Bill Dean. Episode 199C, Standing Ovi-ation. Yeah, I'm Bill Dean. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Shorts Guy and Schwim, who's a jerk. We're brought to you by Prompter Radio, courtesy of Sam Wu. Find us at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Please leave us a 5-star review if it'd be so kind. Boys, what are we drinking?
Shall I go?
You shall go.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Last one of this garbage. This is the last one. Southern Tier. I don't want to talk about it again.
And William is picking up a phone call. Well, for everyone that's here, I'm drinking water. For everyone that's here, I'm drinking water. But I'll tell Billy Dean it's something different when he gets on. Schwim, your team is playing right now, correct?
Yep, they were up 3-0, and now it's 3-1. Rangers scored a power play goal.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that Lightning were playing the Rangers today. I was busy off doing a lot of work and had a lot of stuff going on today, so wasn't able to pay too much attention.
They play him tonight, and then they play him last game of the season, both at MSG.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that last game, technically, if the Rangers don't make it, could be what's his face, Sam Rosen's last game against.
I can't wait until it's his last game.
Yeah, it might be his last game.
Might be a hurricane. I'm going to be drinking a lot tonight, so that's great.
You know what, Billy Dean, you want to know what I'm drinking?
Water.
The tears of Ranger fans.
Yeah, that's great. Let's go to So Tap for today's episode. Here's our weekly snapshot. I love hockey. I love the New York Rangers, and I say that not very happily. I've never wanted a season to end more quickly than this one. If the NHL would just go on strike, I wouldn't mind it. I don't want to see this collection of Rangers players ever again. Mika Zibanejad is the worst thing ever on television and on skates. Yeah, I don't give a crap. He sucks. And of course, my daughter locks my wife out of the house, so then I had to go upstairs real fast and let her in. Listen, JT Miller should have just made up with Elias Pettersson and done whatever he could to stay in Vancouver because it would have been a better situation. Chris Kreider is a big baby, and he needs to get traded as quickly as possible in this offseason.
I think there's a lot of change coming.
There's about 6 or 7 guys I don't want to ever see again, including Rempe, who just don't care what Rangers fans.
He's going to be staying.
His toughness.
He's staying.
Even Vincent Trocheck, who I liked last year. I thought maybe he'd be captain material after losing the shithead that is Jacob Trouba. I thought that maybe I'd like to see him stay around. I don't even know if that's possible. Keandre Miller, JT's long lost brother. I could go without him. It's amazing how we have a Hart Trophy candidate. When they're obviously playing better. Artemi Panarin's Hart Trophy candidate. We have a Norris Trophy candidate, and we have a Vezina Trophy candidate. And this team, I say that lightly because they're clearly not a team the way they're playing, is embarrassing and just sad to watch. And I don't want to see them play hockey anymore. I want them to just miss the playoffs, finish 16 and 15, give Steve and the Penguins this pick, as Steve because he's the GM. Give them the 15th or 16th overall pick this year, and then just tank next year so we get the number 1 and go for Gavin McKenna because I don't really want to see this team do well in its current iteration. And there's no help really coming because, Gabe Pro, I like him a lot, and of course they're sitting,
Is he playing tonight?
Players.
By the way,
yeah, he's 94.
Oh, there he is.
He's on the screen right now.
There's
good young players, Othman, a couple other guys that look pretty good, and I want to see them play. But this core, or the so-called core, needs to just be absolutely obliterated to the sun. And yeah, that's pretty much. I watched this game. I was like, oh, after the Devils, horrible game where the Devils didn't even look very good. The Rangers just looked absolutely horrible. After that Devil game, I pretty much had the same feeling. And then I was like, all right, maybe if they can, pull a win off of Tampa, we sneak into playoffs to that 8 seed. No, this lifeless piece of crap team needs to just jettison into the moon. I'm just so done.
Even if you win out, like say you win all these, what do you have? 6 games left. The last 6 games, you still need like all the teams. You need Montreal and whoever else to not win. Also,
the most embarrassing thing is the entire 8 spot is hot potato. It's like, no, you take it.
I think Montreal's kind of grabbed it right now.
Montreal sucks too. They couldn't even.
They're winning
in their last
5. They've won 5 straight.
In their
everyone else is losing all the time.
Montreal is doing very well. I think Montreal will be one of those.
Right now.
I think Montreal can give Washington
a 6-point lead. They don't have
Washington.
They don't have to go nuts. Montreal can just win a couple games and they're in.
Montreal can give Washington a hard time if they continue playing like this in the first round. They can absolutely give Washington a fit come first round.
Well, we'll talk about Washington later, obviously. Ovi, and that whole fight between Carolina and Washington, which we can get into too. But Schwim, on the other side, your team, which you're going to conveniently deny, but you are full of it. They are the Eastern Conference favorites. This team is a wagon. They have the best goalie in the league. And just give me a second before you try to say that they're not. They have the best goalie in the league. They have a top. They have actually a Norris, Hart, and Vezina candidate. Their power play is ridiculous. Braden Point is still, to me, one of the best.
Another 40-goal season.
Not acknowledgeable players in the league. He does not get enough limelight. Obviously, Kucherov is a beast. And, between Cirelli and Hagel and Yanni Gord, who just lights the lamp before. They find your 5th and 6th defensemen are not good, but your top 4 is ridiculous, and you are hands down the favorite in the Eastern Conference.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
So and this is the lead in. I don't want to hear you complain because you have a ridiculous team and you have to sign, shoot, and all this other BS, which you like to do. But your team is so GD good. It's frustrating, obviously, sitting as a Devils, Rangers, Penguins fans watching our teams be what they are. I know Short's going to make the playoffs, but he's obviously hurting with his 2 best players on the bench as they are in the IR room as they typically are. But just in general, the malaise that is the rest of our teams, and seeing you watch your team, it's impressive that they.
Why can't all of our teams be good at the same time? Does that ever happen? I don't think so.
No.
Can't I just place a bet that everyone will have a good time?
No, I won't have a good time. Not the rest of the season. I want the season to be over.
Well, lose tonight. Have Montreal win. Does Montreal play tonight? No.
I want the entire season. I don't want any.
Have them win tomorrow, and then you guys are 8 points out with only 5 games left, and you're pretty much toast.
True. Yeah.
There's no way. I don't know how you're going to make up 6 points, honestly, with the way Montreal's playing too. And they have a pretty, their schedule's like mediocre, I think. I don't think it's super easy, but the Rangers got to play Tampa again. I think they play Florida in Florida, right? Still?
Yeah.
Who else is on their schedule? I forget. I was looking at it before. I forget who else, but those are 2 tough games. They have to win every single game, and they have to rely on other teams to lose, which I don't think that's going to happen. That's not a formula for success. If they were closer, if they were maybe like 2 or 3 points out, okay, they would have a chance, but they're 6 points out, and they only have 5 games left.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm going to tune into Facebook and YouTube just to make sure what's going on here.
I got YouTube. Max is talking it up in the YouTube chat.
Yeah. What is he saying?
Basically, it's over.
For you guys?
For you.
Well, don't die. Has you watched hockey before?
Yeah.
Let's see. Everyone
brought
pointed
up
left. Yeah,
Max's.
that's over.
Should have sold the farm at the deadline.
Ranging
Yeah.
on the Devils.
Remember
Well,
when-
you guys, the Devils still stink. So let's not pretend like you guys are going to do very much in the playoffs here.
Remember when this was all Jacob Trouba's fault?
It is still Jacob Trouba's fault. Captain
He was
going
the
into the
scapegoat.
room and essentially leading the tire fire from the start because he was going to get traded in the offseason. Boo hoo hoo.
Took a little longer
Not
than
Laviolette's
expected.
fault. Laviolette did lose the locker room, so it's partially his fault. Jury should be gone. I don't know so much about Jury being gone, but I have not.
I think either one or both of them are gone. Either
it's
Jury
Laviolette.
and Laviolette.
Jury
or
gets
just
one more
Laviolette.
year. Jury's going to get one
I
more
don't know.
coach, I think.
I think they should just knock it all down.
Not a Vezina caliber goalie this year. Max, you got to look at all the expected goals and all this other things. The Rangers allow the most grade A scoring chances and grade B scoring chances in the entire league. So look up the primary stats and look up all the advanced analytics stats. They prove that Igor, yes, he hasn't been good in a couple of games, and there's been definitely spots where he has not been great. He's still, I think, the top for expected goals against in the league, and he's second in save percentage for the expected goals against. So I don't want to hear from Devils fans saying about Rangers goaltending being great. If it wasn't for him, this team would be an 0-82 team. They're horrible.
No, Jonathan
be
Quick got
something.
you a bunch of wins.
Oh, fine.
Quick has
Okay,
played well.
They would be
Quick has played well.
7-80, 7-75.
Okay.
And I'll give it to you on Shesterkin. He looked good at times on Saturday. There were definitely sure goals that he stopped. But the Devils power play in the beginning. Did you note who scored that opening power play goal there, Billy Dean?
I didn't actually watch, so no.
Oh, it was one Timo
No,
Meier.
I did watch. Yeah, he still
Get out of
sucks. Go ahead. Tell
Mhm.
me how great that contract is, Shorts guy. Go ahead. Let's wax poetic about how great a contract you guys gave to a middle six player.
Do you know how many other goals he scored? He scored one other goal. He had a brace in that game.
Yep.
Yeah, he scored two against the Rangers. So
Yep.
I just wanted to
Still doesn't
remind
mean
you
he
of
doesn't
that.
suck. It wasn't a waste.
It was not a waste. It was definitely not a waste.
It's a waste of a contract. You're
Mhm.
gonna look
Sucks.
back and be like, "That wasn't a good one," and I'm gonna be like, "You're correct."
Okay.
I told you in year 0.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll see how that turns out in about 4 years.
I'm gonna be laughing in 4 years,
Okay.
just like I am now.
And
Who
if
are
the Devils
only
win,
two skaters to score 10-plus game-winning goals with both the Rangers and the Lightning? That just popped up on the MSG screen.
10+ game-winning goals.
With both
I
the
don't think
Rangers
Marty
and
St.
the
Louis
Lightning.
was there. When
Callahan?
St. Louis is not there long enough.
Would he have that many game-winning goals?
Long enough? Well, yeah,
I was thinking
I
Brad
mean,
Richards and Marty St. Louis, but I don't know.
I don't think St. Louis was there long enough.
No?
Brad Richards, maybe.
I don't know.
It could be. It actually could be Cali. It really
could be Cali. He played for
Yeah.
both of them for a decent amount.
I don't think it'd be. I don't think what's his name scored enough goals.
It's got to be St. Louis. St. Louis has
Ryan
to be one of them.
McDonough. No, I don't. He wasn't with the. He was with the Rangers for what, a year?
It was only 1 year. That's it, and then he retired.
Yeah, I don't think he
He got
would have
traded
had
there and
enough
then retired.
game-winning goals.
I don't know. Maybe he had 10.
No,
He had a
Max,
pretty-
I don't want you to chill. I like it. I like hearing the banter, but I just don't. I don't. To play it off like the Devils are in a happy-go-lucky place here when they're just not. You guys have your two best players are out. It's unfortunate and it sucks, but like not pretending we're going to go and win a cup.
They could still catch a team by surprise because nobody is considering them.
Carolina.
Nobody's considering them to do anything.
Nah.
And that could be dangerous.
Yeah, thank you, Max. I do appreciate that. Yeah, listen. I'm a Rangers fan that understands his team, unlike the rest of these idiots that are in New York City, which I have to go watch every freaking day.
I saw someone at the bar on Saturday with a Rempire State Building shirt on. That didn't age very well.
Rempires,
he's playing tonight.
I have a friend that he's very nice and he assists me with going to games and tickets and stuff, and he's a big Rempe fan. And every time I'm like, "Are we serious?" Like, it's him. It's Chris Kreider. Chris Kreider can't do anything wrong.
Chris Carter has 20 points on the season.
Yeah, it's just every time I talk, I'm like, it's just banging my head against a wall. Like, can we see the real truth of what these players are, which is just disaster? Like, Matt Rempe's a fourth liner. He will forever be a fourth liner. They're like, every time he plays, he wins. No, he clearly does not. Whatever.
Obviously,
anytime Rempe plays over 5.5 minutes, the Rangers win.
Yeah.
I would love to know how many. I would love to know how many games he has more penalty minutes than actually minutes played.
Time on ice.
Yeah. I gotta imagine he has many more games that he's in the penalty box longer than he's on the ice. But he seems to be a favorite of Laviolette for some reason. They keep throwing him out there. They for some reason like him on the Rangers, and your fans absolutely eat that up. Because most of the people, and Billy Dean, this is not a slight on you, but most of the people that go to your games at home at MSG, that they go to like 2 games a year and they pay attention 3 games a year.
Yeah.
And they see this guy and they're like, oh, that's such a rad guy. Like they love him.
Yeah, he does all the things we love. He hits people. Whoa, that's so cool.
A big dumb idiot throwing elbows at people's heads, and they love him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. It's embarrassing sometimes. I just can't with this team.
I think you want the ending of Godzilla to happen in real life.
Godzilla 1998?
1998.
98, yeah.
That was, I mean, if they give me a new garden, sure. I'll take a new garden. They actually, I mean, there's still talks about them relocating the garden because of the whole Penn Station
Where
thing.
would they put it?
And it's good.
Where would they put it?
I don't know. West Side, maybe in like Hudson Yards. I don't know. Listen, it's not the old garden, right? It's been changed 4 or 5 times. I don't really care. Is
it the oldest arena in the league?
Once teams, no.
No.
Yeah, it's not. It's
a lot of these teams got new arenas.
Yeah, what is the oldest NHL arena now?
That's
so it's not Detroit anymore. They have a brand new arena.
It's definitely not. It might be MSG.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, son of a! It is MSG. Holy shit!
Oh, wow.
67-68 is the first season.
Which that sucks. So then after that, there's no history in all these arenas.
Yeah,
in all these arenas.
Yeah, Scotiabank,
I do hate
84. I guess they consider Salt Lake City now Utah Hockey Club is the 3rd oldest arena because it opened for basketball back with the Jazz for so long ago.
Years ago. Okay.
Anaheim Ducks is, and now we're down a rabbit hole. Why don't I just keep going? So it's Rangers, Flames, Utah Hockey Club, Ducks, San Jose Sharks, St. Louis Blues, Chicago Blackhawks. That was 94-95, the United Center. Montreal Canadiens, Bell Center was 95-96. And so that's what I was going to get to quickly. Once like the Montreal Forum and the old Toronto Gardens, once they all kind of got NHL arenas don't mean anything anymore. It's you just go in there, you hope that the acoustics are great where your crowd is on top of your team and you can get that, home arena advantage. But then you have Senators, Vancouver Canucks, Bruins, Lightning are 15. Their first season 96-97 annually.
90s, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Buffalo Sabres, Philadelphia Flyers, Capitals.
3 times.
Yep. Panthers, Preds, Toronto Maple Leafs, Scotiabank was 98-99. Avalanche 99-2000. Then you got Hurricanes, Kings, Jackets, Minnesota Wild 2000-2001, Dallas Stars same year, Jersey Devils, Prudential Center 07-08, Penguins 10-11, PPG Paints Arena.
Prudential Center was 07-08? I thought it was like much earlier than that.
Yep.
I thought it was actually
07-08.
Yeah. Really?
Nope.
I thought it was earlier.
I thought it was like 2010-ish, but
I was there. Nope, I was there opening day.
Canada Life Center, which is Winnipeg, it was 11-12. Rogers Place, Edmonton Oilers, 16-17. Then you got Red Wings, 17-18. That was the Little Caesars, the whole Detroit thing.
Yep.
Vegas Golden Knights, T-Mobile, 2017-2018. Kraken, 2021, 2022. And then finally, the dump that is Long Island, UBS Arena, 2021, 2022. Yeah. We just can all agree on that. The Islanders suck.
We all hate
and
the
it could not have been more fitting for them to get Ovi'd that last
I didn't want them getting any kind of celebration there, but
Ovechkin
Whatever.
895. I have some awesome stats, and this is some pretty cool stuff. By the numbers, and let's see here. What was I saw? I might have actually. Alex, this is the thing that Sam sent us, and I've seen this before. But Alexander Ovechkin has accomplished a feat that was once considered impossible: get the entire world to watch a New York Islanders game. Very good,
I love that.
fantastic little clip there. I did see something cool, and it was, and actually, once Max becomes a friend of mine on Facebook, I'm gonna send him this stat because it's pretty good too. It's actually about Shesterkin and the workload this season and how terrible my New York Rangers have been. But there was something, and I'm trying to remember what the hell I saved it, but it was essentially in like 1960 or 70 or whatever, 80. Gordie Howe nets his 801st goal, which obviously was the tops at the time, on April 6th. Then April 6th of 2000, the Washington Capitals win the lottery and the right to draft Alexander Ovechkin.
Mm-hmm.
And then April 6th, 2025, Alexander Ovechkin sets the record for most goals in a career regular season with 895. So April 6th is a big moment for goal scoring and obviously the
Nice.
Ovechkin and the so on and so forth. They did it within one game of each other. Gretzky did it in 894 total games, although he did score his 894th goal like 7 or 8 games before then. So technically, he is the leader for goals per game in that time. But Ovechkin 894 in 1486, and then finally gets the 895 in 1487.
Did
you guys watch the game?
Well, I was going to ask if, but before we get into him scoring the goal, did you watch the game before against Chicago at all?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Connor Bedard?
Yeah. They did an interview in the middle of the game with Wayne Gretzky, and I guess it took Wayne Gretzky like 10 days to beat Howe's record.
Yeah.
And along that stretch of time, apparently Howe went up to Gretzky and said, "Hey, can you just do this already?" Basically, Gordie Howe wanted to go back home, and he's like, "Can you just get this over with, please?" And he did that.
Not bad.
No,
is that? Someone's fire
That's
alarm?
me. That's me. So if you can take me off for a second, I'm going to go check that out.
You can just mute yourself for a second and just make sure
steamed
everything's
hams
safe.
are done.
Steamed hams. Well, hopefully, Shorts Guy's house is not burning down. That'd be very nice.
I hope not.
Listen, Alexander Ovechkin is obviously the greatest number of goals of all time. People debate whether it's him or Mike Bossy for the actual best goal scorer. Yeah. Obviously Bossy injuries and all that stuff. He does average, I think, 0.75 goals a game. Bossy did, and then Gretzky and Ovechkin, which is really cool, 0.6 goals per game. So that's what their average is. I saw a lot of stuff. We talked about it before. A lot of good stuff on Twitter. People giving their due to number 8. And listen, he has been fantastic. He is one of a kind. I think, what was it? Malkin said something about he's not like other NHL players. He doesn't work out. He doesn't eat right.
He doesn't look like it at all.
Hockey player. So. Yeah, I mean, you see him. He's got a beer belly, he drinks beers.
Just like there, he has no definition.
It's fantastic
whatsoever when he takes his shirt off.
And then I also saw this one. Alex Ovechkin has only made 2 social media posts since breaking the all-time goal record, and both have been to emphatically declare his deep and profound love for Nicholas Backstrom, which you see in that commercial, which was fantastic, where he puts him on his health insurance and his wife's questioning him. Alex Ovechkin and Nicholas Backstrom, you think about those two, and they're obviously 2 peas in a pod. I kind of like the Sedin brothers you saw. And then you had Budweiser send out the celebratory cans to goalies who did not score on Ovi at any point in their careers. You want to know a very funny fact?
Sure.
So before before Ovechkin scored against the Islanders, he had 35 goaltenders that were active that he did not score against. By the end of that game, he had only 34 because Ilya Sorokin, he had never scored it
He
on
never scored in
previous to this to that game. So pretty cool. Max actually just said that too. Hadn't scored on Sorokin yet. Makes sense to score on his countryman. That was really good.
As soon as that power play came up, I'm like, I know it. Like, here we go. Everybody's gonna be standing up watching this. He's scoring here, and he did.
And it was quick too, because obviously the transition. I saw them make it at NHL 94. They actually did the NHL 94 version with him going around. It was very cool. We should have known that today was going to be the day. They said April 6th. House scores 801. April 6th, 2004. Washington wins the lottery. And then, like I said, the other one, which was very cool. The thing about Gretzky's 894 and the final NHL goal, which came versus the Islanders, is that it is his 1,072nd professional goal, WHL, NHL, including playoffs, which surpassed Gordie Howe. So Gretzky still has the record for overall goals, including playoffs and regular season.
I want to know what is the total for playoff goals? I'm assuming it's Gretzky, but is there anybody close that could break that?
Yeah, so most goals scored in the NHL, including playoffs. Ovechkin has 966 and Gretzky has 1,016, so he's 50 goals ahead. So it's another 50 spot.
I don't know if he's catching
It's possible.
Oh, I mean, if he plays, he's got to play for. What is he? He's almost. Is he 40 or is he 39? How old is
30,
Ovechkin?
I think he's 39. And next 39. Year is his last year on his contract, and he has said he does not want to re-sign. So he'd have to do it all in the next year.
He's got to score 50 goals.
If he does at age 40 season, that would be bonkers.
That'd be incredible. Well, he's got to score 25 and have a run this year.
I also didn't see this. Even more incredible, Gretzky's 894th goal came against the Islanders. So the Islanders continue to get.
They get shit on by
Howe's on this one. Very cool.
Highest goal scorer. Yep.
Shrim, this is for you.
Crazy what he's doing at 39 years old to 41 goals.
Yeah. Previous to this game,
a part of the season with a broken leg.
Yeah. Was Kucherov last week had 2 games where he got 8 points total in the 2 games?
Yeah, 2 4-point games in a row. Yep. Was going for 3 in a row. And didn't happen.
Paul Bissonnette's career best in a season is 8 points.
Well, he sucked, and he knows it.
Yeah, that was funny. I saw the one that I sent to the guys in the hockey chat, which was for JJ. And this is just, when you hear this one, it's absolutely sickening. The last time the Sabres made the playoffs, Alexander Ovechkin was 594 goals away from breaking the record. Shorts, did you hear that?
Bad penalty to take.
I heard it.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I caught the end. What was it?
I don't see the playoffs in their near future either. It's gonna
14
gonna keep going.
Now, obviously. The last time the Sabres made the playoffs 14 years ago, Alexander Ovechkin was almost 600 goals away from breaking Ovechkin's record.
Wow.
That's absurd.
Yeah,
that
shows
is
poor Sabres. That poor fan base. They have been
gosh, that's a
just shit on and shit on every year.
It's bad.
It's so bad.
Oh, man.
How are you not? There's so much parity in the league. How are you not at least decent at this point?
Yeah, they're just bad.
It's just what are they doing?
Yeah.
I feel like we shit on the Sabres every week now. Just how bad they are. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, but it's mediocrity. That's what that team is living. They're living in this world of mediocrity where they won't get better, and they're just consistently bad. I think they had the opportunity to be good over the last 2 years. They were trending in the right
high draft picks
direction,
and they don't do anything with them.
They were trending in a positive direction.
They do. They still have a lot of good players. And right now they're actually playing pretty good. They're scoring goals, but their whole problem is they can't keep the friggin' puck out of the net. They got to build that's like the one team that needs to build from the back end out big time.
Yeah, they need.
Yeah, I mean, Ukko-Pekka-Luukkonen had a good year last year, and then this year he's just been
this year,
not good again.
like James Reimer is like your go-to goalie right now. That's he's not a part of your future. They gotta figure
but they
something
just
out there.
beat Washington. Didn't they just beat Washington? So like they've got skill.
They're on like a their last like 7 games or something. They're like their last like what was it at home? Their last like 12 games or something. They're like 10-2 or so. They're playing pretty good. They're putting the puck in the net. It's just their defense and their goaltending, and I don't know. The overall culture of Buffalo it's not good.
Yeah, this was one guy's tweet before or when Ovechkin broke it. I can't believe this guy at 39 years old, 52 in Russian years, broke his goddamn leg this year, stuffed his barrel with Subway and Cheetos, got back on the ice, and then rips an absolute piss missile to be the greatest goal scorer of all time. I love that piss missile.
Piss missile.
Yep. It's amazing. Even he said he didn't think it was an achievable record. It was unbeatable.
Oh, Ovechkin said that?
Ovechkin, he said it to Elliot Friedman back in 2016. He's like, I would need 6 more 50-goal seasons. Well, he got them. He got 6 more 50-goal seasons. There was a stat that I had somewhere, and I also can't find it, of course. But it was essentially just going over all of his achievements, like 20 years of 20 plus or more goals, 19 years of 30 plus or more goals. Obviously, the 6 50-goal seasons, which is a record. The guy is just a machine, and he's a hockey machine, right? He's loaded up on Russian gas. So, yeah, pretty cool.
I'm asking this because I'm curious. Is he gonna? Has he said if he wants to go play a season in the KHL or?
So that's what we're actually just talking about while you were out. So he has 1 year left next year. And we were just talking about he's 49 goals away from Gretzky's all-time playoffs and regular season's goals record.
Okay.
So he has 1 season to try to break that. He says he doesn't want to re-sign after this, so who knows? Maybe he goes and plays in Russia. Him and Putin team up on a line together, and they get 100 goals apiece. But yeah, I think that next year is it for him.
Which is going to suck because he's been a great he's been great to have in the league, and he definitely has been a lot of fun. But at the same time, it's like it's got to come to an end. I'm curious what he's going to do in the next season, and how many he gets and how many he adds on to it. It's going to be interesting to see what the final number is.
Yeah, if he gets another 50-goaler next year, that'd be pretty crazy. As his 40th season, 40-year-old season, 21 years, like that, that'd be pretty cool. So
I think he
can obviously act
next year.
You think he does?
I think he does. I think he finally got the record. Now he can decompress, and maybe I don't know. Maybe that makes him play better. I don't know, but I think it's he's not gunning for it like he was this season, and he only maybe scores in the 20s or something next season.
Yeah, it's possible. All right, let's see. What else we want to chat about today? Here's just by the numbers, Ovi versus Gretzky. Even strength goals, Ovi has 498, Gretzky had 560. Power play goals, Ovi has 324, Gretzky only had 204. Shorthanded goals, this was mind-boggling. Shorthanded goals, Ovi has 5, Gretzky has 73.
Yeah, he had a ton more there.
Wow.
Penalty shots. This was also surprising.
Similar.
Well, you'll get it in a second. Penalty shots. How many do you think each guy scored penalty shots?
I don't know. Gretzky had more.
Ovi had 2. Gretzky had 1.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And then empty netters, Ovechkin 65, Gretzky 56.
Yeah, somewhat similar.
It makes sense on the penalty shot because Ovechkin did a lot of his scoring from that.
He's
from
rarely ever
high
on a breakaway
area. Yeah, and then Gretzky did his from the front of the net and around the net. So breakaways were not really their thing. They weren't breakout speed guys. They were set up in the zone and get it done.
Penalty shot, right? So you would think that Ovi in when they start doing past the 3-on-3, getting into these 3 and 4 man shootouts, he actually never liked doing it because he really was just a wrist shot, slap shot guy. He wasn't trying to deke guys out of the their nets. So just the one-on-one aspect, he was never really good at.
Just brute power. That's really all it is brute power.
Spencer Knight was the goaltender who he beat for 594. Well, 593 and 594. Man, they stink so bad.
He almost did it that night. He had a couple chances that night to break the record. I wish he would have done it at home in front of the Washington fans.
He said he didn't want to get it with the goalie pulled. He wanted a goalie
that was
in the net for
that game. But
Chicago.
But he had other chances when Knight was in to actually get the.
He did. Yeah, he had like 4 more shots.
Like a couple more chances.
Yeah,
he had like a
deflection.
He had a. Yeah. So, but I remember. Yeah, he said he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to go out there with he doesn't want to break the record on an empty net goal. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I like that.
William, I'm looking in the chat. You're going to get Max's spreadsheet here. This is something good you're going to like.
I sent him a Facebook message. I sent him my Facebook so he can.
There you go.
Fourth consecutive season, Ovechkin reached 40 goals for a 14th time in 20 seasons, which is the most in the league. It's the second 40-goal season ever by a player aged 39 or older, joining Gordie Howe. It's also his 242nd career first period goal, breaking a tie with Gretzky for the most in league history.
Jesus.
And then go ahead.
I'm going to throw this out there. I saw this. I don't really have an opinion either way, so it doesn't bother me. What do you guys think? Someone suggested rename the Rocket Richard Trophy to after Ovechkin once he retires.
I mean, I'm quite okay with it. You would figure that they would have named it the Gretzky after he retired. It's been around for, but
and then change it again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it staying the Richard. You think of he was the first big goal scorer back in the day. Held the record for goals before Esposito. I mean, I'm okay with leaving it, but I like giving tributes to the new players, especially when a lot of these guys don't even know who these players were. So many young fans that don't know Rocket Richard, they don't know why the Hart is named after the Hart, or Lester Pearson and all these other awards. So
Vezina.
I don't really care. Yeah.
No one knows who George Vezina is. That's for sure.
I mean, James Norris, him of all career 2 points. Like a lot of these, the names don't even make sense to most of the awards. But who really cares? I'm quite okay with giving the award to Ovechkin. Same thing with if you want to do that, the Selke should be the Bergeron, right? The guy was
totally
ridiculous.
That was basically that was his trophy. It was his to lose every season. So they could. I mean, it just if they were to do that though, it would just definitely set a precedent. To where it's like every 75 years they would change it. I mean, if they change this to the Ovechkin Award, whatever they would decide to call it, we would probably all be dead by the time they actually changed it again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
we could do this. What player would we rename every trophy to? Who would be the coach? Who would be the goalie?
Maybe we'll do that going in. But
we could do that.
Do you think that any of the current players in the NHL could best now this record? 895, whatever it's going to be. It'd probably be, over
probably
900.
930.
930.
In the 930s. 930s easily. Could best it as of right now.
Yeah, so I actually sent our tarps.
The person might not even exist yet.
The projected season to score 895th goal at current pace, Crosby 32-33 season, so in 7-8 years.
Yeah,
Austin Matthews is probably the closest, and they project him to be there around 2034, 2035. You have Draisaitl, you have McDavid, Pasta, Cooch, McKinnon, Reinhart, Caulfield. I guess Austin Matthews.
I don't even know if McDavid could do it.
Doesn't stay healthy. Yeah, McDavid just does too much. He passes, right? He's not a typical goal scorer.
He's going to get tons of assists.
Yeah, you need to be a goal scorer. You need to be selfish.
40 or 50 goals every year by him.
Yeah.
You know what? It's I'm gonna go with what Schwim said, where the player might not even exist yet because it's
I don't even think
possible.
he exists right now.
Or the player could be extremely young and not even on anyone's radar yet, because with the way that sports medicine is and all this stuff now,
Eric Dean.
players are playing so much longer into their careers. I mean, we could eventually see guys being productive at 45 coming up,
Maybe like
and not
Yager. We
too
get
long
like
from now.
Yager's like a freak
Yeah.
of nature, and he's like the only one. Maybe we'll have like multiple guys like him that play well into
hmm
their 40s or late
Yeah.
40s. Even who knows?
Yeah.
And we'll see. I mean, time will tell. We'll who we could potentially see it in our 70s when we
Good
hit that age.
later on.
We could potentially see it between now
Michael, Facebook Live, Michael posting, what player under 25 is your first pick, or is your first pick, I guess, for goal scorers? He says Jack Hughes, almost 24, but that's not going to happen.
He doesn't stay healthy enough.
Yeah, I mean, you would look at someone like Connor Bedard and hope to be the goal scorer, but I don't think that's the case. You know, I don't think there's anyone that I would choose under 25 right now that I could see going anywhere close to the goal scoring record. I just don't see a pure goal scorer.
But would you have chosen Ovechkin? Would you have chosen Ovechkin when he was 24?
He at age 24, he had already had. I mean, he was a pure goal scorer. So if you were going to tell me back then that you had to pick somebody, I would probably say him, because that's all he. When you look at him, that's all he does, right?
Mm-hmm.
He just lights the lamp. So you need that selfish player. Let's see here. So Ovechkin at age 24. So he started at 18. So 19, 20, 22, 23, 24. So he had a 38 goal season, 32. So that's 70. Add in 50, 56, 65, 52, and 46. Yeah, I would have chose him. Yeah. His first 4 years in the league, he had.
I don't.
His first 5 years in the league, he had 5 50-goal seasons. Yeah, guys.
I would say the closest would be Matthews, but now I don't think so because of the health issue.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's going to be the kicker. That's going to be the kicker.
Yeah.
So right now, I don't think it's anybody.
Hey, Gavin McKenna sure looks good in the WHL, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah, like I said, you just
might stay for a while.
Need someone, you need someone that just wants to score goals, and that's all they're going to be, because it takes a lot to do what he did.
But are those types of players being created anymore?
I don't know. I think. Yeah, maybe it'll be another Russian. Who knows? They want the gravitas.
Just somebody in a lab.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Russia.
Yeah. Hunger Games style.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get off this for a second. Something sad and happy all at the same time. But Johnny Gaudreau's widow delivered their third child yesterday. Meredith. They had a new baby boy. Named Carter Michael Gaudreau, Michael being the middle name of Johnny. And listen, it's obviously bittersweet, and the birth of a child is the best thing of all time. But to do it without dad and stuff, I'm sure that was a tough way to go about it. He was 8 pounds 3 ounces, which was the same as Gaudreau, and Meredith kind of posted that everything reminded her of Johnny. So. You obviously wish them all the best, and unfortunately, Columbus and all the good times that they're going through, it looks like they're not going to make the playoffs. They're now 4 teams between them. Still a fantastic year for them, especially with where they were projected to be. Right, one of the worst teams in the NHL,
and despite everything that happened to them, injury wise too, not just losing control.
Yeah, injury wise,
Jesus.
I saw, and this is a little off that topic, but I saw that Elvis Merzlikins was actually some other team sent in tape of his goaltending, saying that he goes and tries to initiate contact with players in the blue paint to try to get calls for goaltender interference. And that they've actually Ellie Friedman was talking about this, that they've actually talked to him, and he's kind of gotten not the flopper tag, but I guess someone that tries to initiate contact and to watch, and that's why they had the issues, goals this past week and get taken off the board because he was initiating the contact outside the blue paint. So
interesting.
Just something I saw about Columbus, but
interesting.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. Let's look that up.
Yeah, take a look at it.
That team has had so many tragic friggin' things happen to them. What was the goalie that died?
Kivy-Lennox. Yeah, the fireworks.
Jesus
fireworks,
Christ, man.
Blew off them. Yeah. It's a tough way for the franchise, but they're on a good path here. They have good young players. They have,
they just
got
to develop everybody correctly. Don't be like Buffalo.
Yeah.
Sorry. We always bring it back to Buffalo on this pod.
I think they did well by bringing in the GM from Carolina.
Yeah.
He did very well. Was that Don Waddell? I think that is.
Yeah, Don Waddell. Now you have the idiot in Carolina left over.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that replaced him is a friggin' moron.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a team that I think is going to be trending down very soon.
We'll talk about them in the more parts. Yeah. Quickly on the Washington Carolina, did you guys see the little fracasses that they had after their game? What was it, Thursday last week?
Was that the game where the one guy body slammed the other guy?
Yeah. So that's what we were talking about. That was McMichael got slammed down by the defenseman, Chatfield.
Now he's hurt, right? Isn't he? Isn't he out?
Yeah, he's hurt. Yeah. I don't understand how the NHL did not suspend him at all or even fine him for that.
Yeah, he got nothing, right?
It was reckless and dangerous, and it's not a hockey fight. And you have the idiot George Peros, who runs, obviously, Department of Player Safety, who is an ex-fighter. He never did that, and I would think he would understand a code where, you're fighting a guy, you're trying to punch him, and you're obviously trying to, get them off their feet and get them out, but to judo throw someone, I understand it's fast, it looks bad on slow motion versus live air, but he literally turns and rips the guy from behind. If he neck cracks his head on the ice, anything could happen.
Yeah.
I don't understand. The NHL cannot get out of their own way to do anything right when it comes to player safety, and it's absolutely atrocious.
They're not good at what they do, and
I don't know.
I don't know how many more times this can, or something like this.
Someone's going to get severely hurt or killed.
Something's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen. And finally, Bettman, the idiot, should just get out of obviously being a GM because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like you had the whole thing with what's the center for Minnesota that nailed Stützle's head into the ground? Hartman. You had Hartman.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The whole thing at the face-off where he literally puts his forearm into the back of Stützle's head and drives it into the ice. And Peros actually did something good, and he gave him a 10-game suspension, and you have the idiot Bettman reduce it to 8 games. What are you telling the NHL? That A, your Department of Player Safety head doesn't know what he's doing in terms of suspension amounts, and B, that you don't care about player safety. Because clearly if he did something worse to Stützle could have been out with a concussion, anything could have happened. And you're trying to get rid of this bonehead plays or just the dumb players in the league, which is Ryan Hartman's definitely one of them. He's a career offender.
I don't understand also from his side, Hartman's side, how is he appealing this? Saying like know. what was his defense? Like, what was he saying? Like
that he said something.
He didn't mean to do it. He's an artist and didn't mean to do it.
He's an artist. Yeah.
I don't understand what his argument could possibly be for not warranting suspension.
The fight was interpretive art. Therefore, you cannot interpret it to be negative.
I let the ref know that this was going to be an art piece, and he gave me a penalty anyway. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
I guess that only works.
It blows my mind.
It's actually funny. With former New York Ranger great.
I'm not gonna lie. When they played Anaheim, I was hoping that Trouba would line up Zibanejad and just maybe not, concuss him, but at least take him out for a few games so that I didn't have to see him play.
Like, hey, remember me?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, Jaden Slewfoot, Max. Yeah. Listen, The whole hockey season for me, obviously, just sucks. But
The Rangers got one
I'm
period
kinda
left in
done.
their season, possibly tonight.
Get out of here,
Mhm.
Schwim.
What? They're only down by 2.
Oh, we're only down by 2 to the best team in the league.
Get the fuck out of here!
Best team in the
Best team
league.
in the league. What's the
Not
matter
the
with
best
you?
team in the league.
All right. Let's do this. Stars are 7-1-2 in their last 2.
The Stars are better.
10.
The friggin' Jets are better. The Capitals are obviously better.
The Jets are not better. The Jets are not
The
better.
Jets are absolutely
The
better
Jets
than
are
Tampa.
better. The
Just
Jets
'cause they have
are better
points.
than Tampa.
You actually, Shorts guy, you think that the Jets are a better team than Tampa?
I
Top
think
to
they are.
bottom?
Yeah, I think they are.
I need Steven here because I think he's going to agree with me.
I'm not saying Tampa sucks. Like
Stars
they're
are
a good
better.
team, but honestly,
I'll
they're
give
not
them
the
that.
best team in the league.
Stars are better. Avs defense is bad, or else I might say that
Avs
they're
defense
better.
is bad, but they're a dangerous team.
You guys are the best in the
Vegas
East,
is
and
a
I think
dangerous team.
You're a top 3 to 4 team in the league. You are.
I would say top 6, top 5 or 6.
So
Not
you're going to give
top 1.
the best 5 teams are in the West?
No, because I have Washington in there. They're the
You have
President's
Washington
Trophy
better
winning
than your
team.
team? Oh
They're
my
the President's
God,
Trophy winning
can't you
team.
seriously-
Yes, they're better.
I don't care. We were the President's Trophy winning team last year, and no one predicted us to win round 1.
Well, whoever wins the President's Trophy doesn't win anything ever. So, sorry.
Just because they have more points, they have a better. That didn't mean they were a better team overall during the season.
I'm not saying Tampa's a good team. They're not the best team in the league.
Best team in the
They're just
East.
not.
You're the best team in the East.
I don't know.
There's Washington is the system, and they've played well, but they're not world beaters. I don't. If you want to tell me Florida because they're cup champs, okay, but
there's
you're
multiple
better
teams
than
that can come
Toronto.
out of the East. Same
Better than
same
Washington.
as the
You're
West.
better than the Hurricanes.
I put 2 or 3 teams above every team in the every team in the East. Like a couple, like 2 or 3 teams out of the West, I would put above every single team in the East.
I think it's Stars and Avs, and maybe the Knights.
The Knights are there's 4 teams, like Stars, Avs, Knights, and Winnipeg.
You guys,
those teams are friggin' juggernauts.
Yeah,
I like Winnipeg, but I don't think that they are.
Winnipeg's problem is, they always have a good regular season. They're having a really good regular season, and then they suck in the playoffs. So,
yeah,
if they can learn to play fucking playoff hockey,
which is incredible that incredible that they do the same thing basically that Toronto does, and they don't get nearly half the crap that Toronto gets for doing it.
Yeah, Toronto gets all the crap
because.
Yeah.
Well, it's Toronto. It's the media market of the
I know.
world. So but they also have the goaltender. So I think that's the big mark is that they have the goalie that they could say, we're doing it around him and all this other stuff. Maybe that's how they don't get it as bad. But just quickly on stats, guys. Obviously, McKinnon 115 points. 83 assists. He's ridiculous. Kucherov is going to have 80 assists already.
He's got 80 assists.
He's at 113. Draisaitl goals 52. Kyle Connor 7th overall in points, right tied with Makar. 38 goals, 53 assists.
And he was the highest scoring American in the league for the 4 nations, and he gets benched in the championship game.
I thought it was Eichel, but was Connor? So I think
it was Connor. It was either that or maybe it was the highest goal scorer. I don't know. Whatever it was.
They're close. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
Ooh,
listen, Kyle Connor should have absolutely been in the game.
No sense.
Yeah, he should have been in the chip game over Chris Kreider, who just amazingly. Yeah, whatever. It's a fun season.
We didn't talk anything about like the friggin' Blues and how they're on a friggin' 12-game heater over there. They're a scary team right now.
I mean,
they're playing
scary. Yes,
good
they're
hockey.
Playing well.
They're playing really good.
93 points.
They knocked out Colorado. They knocked off who else? They beat a bunch of good teams in their own arenas.
12-game. They're a 12-game winning streak. I think it's
they're on a 12-game winning streak, and they're playing Winnipeg right now. I think it's tied. I think they just tied it actually.
A lot of people talking about Binnington getting a jump from the World 4 Nations.
He's continued to play.
Listen, he played awesome in that tournament, and he's
He
played
did.
well now. I still do not trust him. You can have heaters, and he's
I'm not
on
saying they're
one,
going to
and
win the cup,
good for
but
him. Yeah.
Mhm.
you know,
No,
you want to be
it's still he's a player that I
playing
don't
like this
have
going
any
into the
confidence
playoffs.
in.
No,
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah. So it looks like just on those matchups, St. Louis would play Vegas. That's
Aren't they close to
yeah.
catching somebody or no?
So they're at 93, St. Louis, and they are 5 points behind Colorado, same amount of games in hand. So
It's close.
if you're like Colorado, do you just want to tank it away and then play the Knights instead of the Dallas Stars? Like, no matter what, those matchups suck. Like this is why 1-8 needs to be the way it goes, because there's no way you should lose the Stars or Avalanche in the first round because they play each other.
Same thing in the East. You shouldn't be. You're going to lose Toronto, Tampa, or Florida.
Yeah,
Most likely.
it's
in the first
I
round.
mean, most likely you would see one of those two teams play because because Capitals and Hurricanes are, the points and stuff. Capitals obviously would be first. Then you'd have the Leafs. Then you'd actually have the Hurricanes. Then you'd have Tampa and the Panthers. So you would see that anyway. But in the Western Conference, you wouldn't, because those teams have separated themselves so much. You'd actually see Colorado play like the Kings instead, which is where they should play.
Oh, Schwim, before we go, I got to say there was someone sitting behind Brooke and I at the game yesterday or Saturday just yelling, shoot.
Shoot!
I
love it.
It was awful.
Gotta
It was
hate
just
him.
terrible.
I didn't even realize I have tickets to the Devils home finale against Detroit.
Yeah, I saw that, and I got to go watch the Islanders this weekend. Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I might try to sell them. I don't know.
I'll trade you mine for yours.
I just don't want to go. Anybody out there that's listening, if you want 2 tickets to the Devils Red Wings game at the end of the season, let me know.
Let's you and I talk off air.
All right.
All right.
Brooke, I didn't say that Tampa was the best team, but I said second or third best team in the league. But they're definitely the best team in the East. So I'm just talking to people. Max, I'm going to take a look at this spreadsheet.
If Tampa can play like the way, like they're kind of, if Tampa plays like the way they're playing now, except for, I mean, a couple games where they just play horribly defensively, they're going to be a very tough team to beat in a 7-game series. It's true. I'm not disagreeing.
You guys have everything you need.
They have to really hone in their Achilles heel is their friggin' defense. If they can hone in that, play structured defense, huh?
The third pair of your defense.
The third pair is bad, but no, like their overall team defense.
Oh,
they have lapses, big lapses in games that cost them games. The freaking Buffalo game, they had 2 or 3 horrible lapses that cost them that game against Buffalo. They got goalie to all hell against Ottawa the other night. Fucking Omar played out of his mind.
I saw
they
that.
Lost that game. There was 2-1, and he played out of his mind. He stole that game.
There was nothing you were going to do to beat him.
They were dominating Ottawa and lost 2-1.
Mm-hmm. Ottawa is an interesting team going into the.
Ottawa's playing very well even without Tkachuk. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's why, and there's the more and more you. Oh, and also I heard that Heiskanen could miss the first round of the playoffs, which really sucks.
Really,
Dylan Holloway. It looks like it could be season ending, which that sucks for St. Louis. McDavid, they still don't have a timetable yet, but Tkachuk, they're thinking that he could also be out multiple games. In the playoffs.
Matthew or Brady?
Matthew.
Yeah.
So that's a big hit to the team. That's why I don't. Yeah, I don't like them.
Yeah, Florida looks awful right now.
Yeah, and they're obviously. Did you see the list of players are sitting out for today's game? It was Barkov, Reinhart, Bennett. Obviously, Kachuk's out, and
they don't play tonight. Is that for tomorrow?
Or tomorrow? Whatever the list was. They named out like 6 guys that are already sitting. I don't. It's like the NBA with their whole thing of
Barkov's been out. He's been hurt for the last 2 games.
Yeah,
but all those other guys
like right playoffs.
Reinhart and Bennett and whoever else. Oh, excuse me.
Their first line was Lusterinen and Lindell. So, that's a third line normally. Yeah. All right. You guys got anything else? I was a little long-winded.
No, just the Devils
I
beat
don't
the
think so.
Rangers. Again.
Yeah, I know. Yep, it was a great day to be late Ranger Land. You would figure that a team that's looking for the
Is it true they
playoffs
didn't score a single goal against the Devils at
That's correct.
in all the games that they played
Shitbox
at
and North?
Prudential?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yep.
Yikes.
And then I went on to stop 29 of 32 later that night on the same ice.
Sure did.
Sure did.
Good job,
Get that
Schwartz guy.
E-bug contract.
I'd take you over those two shitty goaltenders that are man the crease in Nork right now. So
I would take Shorts guy over every goaltender in the league. Are you kidding?
Schwartz guy, that was a compliment for you. I thought you'd be happy
know.
about that. I just praised you.
I agree. I know it was a compliment, but I wouldn't take me over Markstrom.
I would. I want to see Shorts guy out there.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
You know what team I would
this
like
week
to
watched
actually
the
see you
Devils
play
the Wars.
for
No, I'm
and be successful for?
Buffalo?
The Columbus Blue Jackets.
joking. Buffalo.
Oh God, Buffalo. No, I don't want.
He would not be. He would not
that will
be
ruin
good.
your career.
Yeah,
That'll make you
that would
worse. No,
tank his
Buffalo.
career. He'd get
No.
like 10 goals each night.
I want you to
That's
be. I want you to be
horrible.
part of the uprise of Columbus, even though you'd be one of the oldest guys on the team.
All I need is one career season at league minimum, and I'll be pretty good and set. I'll
I need
take
to
that.
get you in an
great.
e-bug.
We'll take that any day.
Seriously.
Hurricane, which I'm going to drink a lot more of in a few minutes because the Rangers team sucks. 4.25, really good. Thank you.
Okay.
Treehouse.
Speaking of sucks, my beer sucks again. No rating.
Did you leave it in the fridge too long again?
Now, well, yeah, this is all the stuff that's been in my fridge forever, so this is the last one
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get rid
It's all
of.
spoiled.
It sucks.
This guy. Never give Shroom a beer. He's going to leave it in his fridge for about 3 years before he finds it. It's behind the baby milk. Shorts.
It's behind the OJ and purple stuff.
I love my water. It's a 5.
Very good. Solid 5. Shrimp, take her home.
Oh, women and semen don't mix.
Closer.